All right, the next one is when. So we need to align on the schedule. We need to know when the market is needing this. When is the market event that we have to be ready for? Something's happening in the market and we have to hit that. Or by when does a customer need something in order to secure their business or to make sure that they buy from us? Also, we need to know when the cutoff date is, after which the new feature we're building, it's not even worth it anymore. If we miss a certain date, then we need to deprioritize that feature and move on to the next one because it no longer has the same return on investment. Or to when can this feature be delayed? How far back can we push it in the schedule so that we can prioritize something else? Do we have any flexibility, Tim?
Well, I sure hope so. I mean, you got to have the ability to know what's being built, when it's going to add the maximum amount of value, and adjust on the fly. And so, developers have to know and align with executives to know what are the real drivers behind a schedule and what's going to fit in there to make maximum impact. So it's absolutely critical to a success of a project.
All right, and after when comes the where. We need to align on location, and this is multifaceted. So we need to ask the questions: where is our market, both physically but also digitally? Because we hang out in physical locations and we hang out in digital locations. Our customers do too. Where is the team going to work? What's the office environment? And have we intentionally curated that office environment? Even if the office environment is working from home, do we know that our developers actually have a productive physical environment at home, or do they need some help with that? Where will the team produce the work? And digital systems are part of the work environment. Again, everybody who does work needs a very productive environment in which to do the work. So digital systems are part of that environment. Are they good digital systems? Do they work well, or are those digital systems insufficient? And this is where executives, if a developer is asking to move to some other system for work tracking, or asking for some type of testing tool or some type of automation tool, you may just think, oh, great, another thing for my budget. But these are part of the software engineering work environment, just as important as anything that you might think is important for a physical office, like having a break room or having clean restrooms. Digital systems are part of a developer's work environment. We also have to ask, where will the software operate? And in this cloud world, some people make assumptions, oh, everything's web, but it's not. Software runs on smartphones, it runs on desktop computers, it has components that run in the cloud, or for specific reasons, it might run in a private client data center, or be a software system that has a component running in each of those places. And so we have to be clear on where the software is going to operate so that we can talk about the constraints and the trade-offs. And one of the resources that you can get from ClearMeasure on that to help you with it is our architect retainer, where a chief architect like Tim and myself comes alongside and provides some fractional software leadership to help with these questions and options and guidance to help your team get there, Tim.
Yeah, this is not uncommon in other departments. In your warehouse, you've got 5S methodologies. You've got a break room, and we just have to get comfortable with the idea that these questions that Jeffrey's put on the screen here and walked us through are normal for the software world and software development teams, and we have to be thinking about them. Just like if someone's standing all day, then they get a pad to stand on, and ergonomics, and where are we going to put the broom to sweep the warehouse floor? Like, there are all systems for that. The same thing has to happen here. We have to be comfortable with creating an environment where we can succeed and where we can have systems and teams operate effectively.
All right, the final question for alignment is who? Aligning on the people. And so the questions are who is the user? Who's going to be using the software? Now, besides the user of the software, who is the customer? Maybe the same as the user in some cases, but in a lot of cases, the person paying the bills is not the same as the person using the software. So let's be clear on that. Also, who will support the software? When a user has a problem, Who's giving them really good support, really good customer service? Also, who is going to build the software? These are roles of the team. This is the structure of the development team itself. And do we have enough? Do we have the right skills? Do we have too much of one skill, not enough of another? Who will design the software? It's not just a group of code and we're purely self-organizing and everybody does everything else. I mean, it's natural to specialize somewhat. The same person who's amazing at CSS and beautification is probably not going to be the same person who's amazing at data performance. Okay. Who's going to envision the software for the market? We talked previously about product management and whether it's a single dedicated person or whether a few people share that, but we need to know who is going to be casting the vision and going to be the expert in the market to come up with the right ideas for the software, for how to change the software, how to morph it. And we have tools that's a part of our team alignment template that can be a resource for this. And there's a common software team choice that mid-sized companies can do. And this is, no company has an unlimited budget. Okay, so we can take the outcome that we need, and if it's a capital outlay and we want to get a return on investment for some R&D investment, we can design a team specific to the outcome, specific to the project, and that's a valid way to go. Or we can say, you know what, we're really operational cash flow driven. We have monthly budgets, and we're going to keep some number of development teams on staff, and we're going to tailor the outcome of that team to whatever it is. Tailor the outcome to the available team. Those are both viable choices. Let's just be clear and talk out loud about which choice we've made, because we have to fit within the constraints of whatever the choice is. And there is a hint, okay? Because even if you say, look, this is the number of developers we can have, we're not going to have any more developers, fixing the process empowers your available existing team to deliver so much more than you're used to if you don't already have this process that we've gone through in place, Tim.
We talk a lot about alignment, and it comes back to, and this is an ongoing conversation. If if Jeffrey and I are working on a project, it may be implied that Jeffrey's going to do this part and I'm going to do a certain part because of our skills and we know each other. But we should probably go through some exercise to make it known. And then if a third person joins the team, that person may not know the benefits, or if the customer changes. So I think at regular intervals, you have to often step back and don't assume that we're aligned. Let's just go through a small process to make sure that we're aligned and that we're taking full advantage of the team and the constraints, as Jeffrey called out. There are real business constraints. Sometimes we get a tax write-off if we do this in R&D, and so you can fund it one way. Sometimes you're operationally cash flow strapped. It is absolutely appropriate to adjust the way in which your team is operating depending on your constraints. But if you're one way to supercharge or take full advantage of whatever it is you have in your situation is just communicating about this process. Who's doing what? What am I relying on somebody else for? It makes a lot of problems go away, or it avoids a lot of simple problems by making it clear who's what, who's doing what, where are the expectations lying.